Hey folks, welcome to SpeedBump. We're doing Quackshot,
Quackshot.
starring Donald Duck, which I have seen and never played, but it looks like a fun game, and I think it's an easy-ish Genesis game as far as Genesis games go.
That's not too terrible.
I think I'm ready. Whenever the players are all set, we can start this thing. We're gonna give them 1 hour.
Yep. I'm going to give them the countdown.
Pulling audio from Rob and slot 1 there.
So Quackshot is a little bit challenging for one reason at least, and that's because like a lot of Genesis games, I'm a Nintendo player myself, so I never had to deal with this growing up. But like a lot of Genesis games, it uses all three buttons kind of interchangeably on the controller, so it's kind of hard to just play with your hand in a relaxed grip. If you want to really play this game well, a piano grip is kind of the preferred way to hold the controller. Because one of the buttons is run, one of the buttons is jump, and one of the buttons is to fire the plunger. It's not like with a lot of like NES games or even Super Nintendo games where both the fire button and the run button are on the same button.
The Genesis is the console that eventually released a 6-button thing, but it never really... Some games used it, but it wasn't like the standard. There was still 3 buttons all the way down.
Yeah.
3 buttons being a huge mistake. I don't know why they were 3 buttons is not enough buttons. But I guess they were competing with the NES and not the SNES, which had, 6 plus 2.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been way better, I think, for the 6-button controller if they had done the same thing the SNES did and put 2 of them as shoulder buttons. But that's also my bias because that's what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, 6 buttons for like Shaq Fu and other games like it. I mean, their trademark game, Sonic, only used 1 button. Practically can play with the joystick. Whatever. What can you tell me about Quackshot?
It's kind of vaguely Metroidvania. There's these stages, and you're kind of like on a mission to collect treasures. I don't remember exactly what the storyline is, but there is at least one point where it branches and they can pick whatever level in whatever order they want to. It's a really interesting game, though. Fun to play.
Vlad's screen is not there. They are live, though.
We might be having some... I'll send them a message.
What is popcorn? The item popcorn. Somebody has 5. What does that do?
I know there's a power meter. Is that what you're talking about?
There's an item called popcorn.
I don't remember what that is.
Apparently,
not
it's
offhand.
Spreadshot.
Gotcha.
What is the airplane called for?
That's how you leave a level if you want to go back to the map.
Okay, and this maybe is this more obvious for gamers than a grandpa like me, but why is there a temper meter?
So there's a mechanic in this where you can pick up a pepper and it'll make Donald run really fast, and then that meter will kind of run out until the power runs out. So that's the meter for that power.
Since it was Donald who has anger problems, I thought it was, anger, but no, it's just temperature meter. It's actually a temperature meter.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's supposed to be that he's pissed that he ate some hot food, but it could just be temperature.
Well, now I'm gonna check on ducks and peppers. Ducks love bell peppers. They love fresh bell peppers.
Is that like a known thing about ducks?
Yeah, they don't care about the color. They don't care at all. They don't care about pepper seeds. They'll eat those. Ducks love hot peppers. They just love it. Something's wrong with Donald Duck. He's just...
Somehow they didn't make him true to real life, I guess. I don't know how this could have happened. I don't know who's in charge of this oversight.
Their brain lacks the receptors that make hot food taste hot, so that it's just regular peppers to them. They're just chomping those things down. They don't care at all. Ducks love hot peppers.
Isn't that true of all birds? I mean, that's how those plants try to spread their seeds, is to prevent mammals from eating them and instead get birds to eat them.
I love doing bird facts.
Is that bird facts? Are we doing bird facts now?
Yeah. Peppers help regulate ducks' blood sugar level. Oh, we're doing pepper facts too at the same time as bonus facts. You get 2 for 1 on all these. It reduces the risk of diabetes. You should feed, if you have a duck, give them pepper right now. Doesn't matter what kind. They don't care if it's hot, cold, green bell pepper, yellow. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Black peppercorn.
Yeah. You got a baby duck? It can eat peppers too. It doesn't care. You got to chop it up a little bit, but that'll be all right. Final thoughts on the report about peppers and ducks. They love them.
In conclusion. I'm not sure what's going on with Vlad's stream.
Hopefully they can get quacking. So this is a mechanic that it's pretty obvious to see. You have this gun. It's a pretty lousy gun, but you can jump off of it like in Volgar the Viking. You can just jump right off that plunger.
Yeah, you can use it to like climb some types of walls. It's actually pretty cool. I think a lot of enemies, it doesn't kill them, it only stuns them. But it does turn out to be pretty useful for being able to like climb surfaces and stuff, so that's the trade-off.
Yeah, don't feed bread to ducks. That's a known bad thing to do. You should give them peppers. An unknown good thing to do. And probably more expensive. But hey, you love your ducks, you give them what's good. Do they make any games like this other than like Kingdom Hearts? Does Donald show up in anything anymore?
You mean modern or just like in general? Did Donald have any other games?
Either way, I don't remember seeing him in anything but this really after.
I mean, he was the second player in Magical Quest 3. He was Donald Duck's, what was it? Something Dime Caper. That was a Master System game.
Maui Mallard, I remember that.
Oh yeah, Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow.
Yeah.
That's a terrible video game. I'm sorry.
Is there a game y'all would like to see a race of? What can I really get a lot of people to participate in next week when Author Blues isn't here? We have to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, have fun when I'm gone.
That's the best race of all time. Let's host Llama Lana while we.
Oh my god.
I think technical restrictions are going to stop me from racing Okami unless a lot of people have a capture card ready to go.
Everyone's making pretty good progress. This game gets a little bit tricky later. Some of the later worlds have kind of puzzle elements in order to make progress in them. Right now, we're kind of just dealing with, I don't want to say tedious, but like long platforming stages. Stages that kind of just involve a lot of platforming, and the stages are quite long.
I think part of what kills me with this is the music is just not there. Like everything else is delivering except for the music, and that really is it's more important than you know when you don't got a banging soundtrack while you're navigating these temples.
Yeah, some of it's a little it's just ambient sounds more than anything, and that's not great.
Looks like you get corn all the dang time. Every time you kill a Pete. There's lots
Don
of Pete's.
loves corn. Don't ducks love corn too? I don't know if corn's good for them though.
It probably is.
It's a very starchy food.
It's safe to feed ducks dried cracked corn, fresh corn cut from the cob, and defrosted frozen corn. What the hell else kind of corn is there? That's all the corn.
The forbidden fourth corn. Please do not feed ducks the fourth corn. Yes, do not give ducks creamed corn. I've been telling people this for years. You should not feed ducks creamed corn.
They can eat 4 ounces of that stuff a day, and they'd be happy to do it.
What are you gonna do? Say no? They don't have the willpower.
Is that Scrooge on in that plane, or is that just his logo on the... Who's this turtle?
I don't know, but he's a huge pain in the ass.
What's his problem?
If you're talking about the one on Rob's screen, yeah, he seems like a real pain.
Yeah.
The thing I remember from playing this game is that the stages, by and large, are not short. These are all kind of beefy stages for a platformer. It really feels like it's trying to do kind of a Metroidvania thing, but they just didn't commit to the bit. This game often gets described as being kind of a Metroidvania, at least as far as compared to any other Donald Duck platformer or whatever. But really, it just feels like they couldn't commit to it, and so instead just figured, you know, those Metroid games, they're kind of just like really long platformer levels if you think about it.
I wouldn't say that you're exactly cruising in move speed or anything either. What kind of power-ups do you get anything like that?
Like to make you move faster? Not really. It's mostly like an item-based progression thing, so it's like you find one of the treasures and that unlocks a new world, and I think you do get a few abilities, but I don't remember what they were. You do have a lot of backtracking to previous levels, which is probably where it gets its reputation, or where it gets described as a Metroidvania, because it lacks pretty much every other quality of a Metroidvania. But I guess not very many platformers have you returning to levels to do other things.
Oh, when Donald talks to Gyro, he says, "Thank you, Gyro," in nice, clear English. Instead of... or whatever the fuck he says.
Whoever put up these power poles didn't have to have them loop back on each other. Feels like unnecessary.
How far do you think we'll get in an hour in this?
There's a few... There's a point later, like I said, where it kind of branches into, like, go find these treasures off of a list and you can do them in any order. I think we'll probably get about that far with most of our players. I'm not 100% certain.
Long play for this game is about 50 minutes. Which is typically, maybe even cheating, just perfect play most of the way through.
Yeah.
I watched a long play of those impossible bootlegs on Mega Man that I've been playing, and they made it look really easy. I'm like, wow, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah, but they use save states.
They don't even damage shuffle.
Cowards. Tarragon's having such a hard time with the platforming here, but like also I get it.
What's Pete's problem? What's this guy's deal?
Well, no, but he's got pockets full of corn.
I don't know too much about him, other than in like Goof Troop, where he's just a bad dad. Like that's all I know about his character. He's the worst kind of villain. Just the no-show dad who's rich, doesn't care about his son. I don't know anything about Pete. Why is he here attacking Donald Duck? Why is he a vampire bat now?
Hey, we got Vlad up.
Oh, the bubblegum is a platform destroyer.
Now, Rob's making really good forward progress. Just doing an excellent job of getting through these levels.
Well, Vlad's feed's back on, and they are in the same location. I don't know that they did the other level, though, if they have stage select yet. Doesn't seem like they do just yet.
They've got enough points to suggest that they've been playing offline.
Dracula's castle? Are you allowed to use him the same way you're allowed to use, like, Sherlock Holmes? Can I just write a romance novel about Dracula?
Well, until quite recently, you weren't allowed to do that about Sherlock Holmes. But now you can. Now, if you want to write, you know,
putting them on arcade
ERP about Sherlock Holmes, go for it. You're totally allowed to do that.
Next emote slot is a detective snail.
There you go.
Yeah. How's the Ace Attorney games? You played those, right?
They're okay. Kind of mediocre.
I've only played the DS ones, which I liked a lot.
Before someone yells at me, I'm just kidding. The Ace Attorney games are all great.
I had a friend who's a lawyer who doesn't play games, and I told them about Ace Attorney, and they were like, they didn't like the idea of court being fun. Like they couldn't even imagine what the hell I was talking about. It was just beyond. He's a little bit older than me. Like, you do what now? And I'm like, yeah. So the case is over in 3 days, and if you can't prove somebody else did it, they get executed.
Of course, if I were going to recommend someone try out an Ace Attorney game these days, I'd probably point them at the new series, the Great Ace Attorney games, with Sherlock Holmes. To bring this conversation full circle.
What is this nasty desynced metal orb jump?
It's nasty.
It looks like it's resyncing. Or just
Oh, it is
leaving.
underwater.
Resynchronizing.
Oh.
Recalibrating. You ever degauss a monitor? Degauss?
As a kid, yeah, I love that button. That was the button that made it do the boom sound.
Yeah. If you were into computers as a kid, everyone decided you're just a hacker because you know how applications open. And if you degauss the monitor in the lab, you'll hit them all. You'll hit every monitor. Put me in that movie about the hackers. I miss defragmenting. I think I'm gonna defragment my HDDs tonight. Actually, I'm just gonna watch it. What are you doing with your evening?
For old time's sake,
Yeah.
just run a defrag.
You don't want to do that with SSDs, but I still have a couple HDDs, and they haven't been defragmented in 100 years.
Do you still have to?
I mean, you didn't really ever have to. It was one of those.
No, but I
pretend-
mean, like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's true to a certain extent. But like, wait, was
like
I doing that for nothing at the time?
What?
Was it? Okay, so I haven't thought about defragmenting a disk since I was a kid, and it's now occurring to me. Wait, was that nothing? Like, did it?
makes it so slightly faster. I mean, it's just read time goes up because... Yeah, but you shouldn't defrag SSDs. I think it's actually bad for them. Pointless. But on an old one, where it has to run around the disk a lot, it reduces how far the physical component has to travel, I think, is what it is. So it would do something, but not much. It would be very tiny. If it were really bad, I guess it would be a lot, but it would just make
I think Rob is on the boss of this level. If I remember correctly, this is the boss fight. It's been so long since I played this. I'm just barely remembering.
I still use hard disk drives because I like having terabytes of space and not paying $1 million for it. We're not there yet on SSDs as far as I'm concerned. Not the level of space I want. I got a lot of junk.
Yeah, I think what you're supposed to do with this guy, if I'm remembering correctly, this might not be the boss fight. Is that just a normal enemy? Having some like vague recollections about this level. I seem to recall that ghost you're supposed to like defeat all of the individual ghosts that he turns into.
Yeah, that's right. Defragging an SSD is only going to damage it, if anything. Like, it's just going to burn it out. But on an HDD, it will improve read times. Maybe even save space. I'm going to do it. I'm going to defrag my drives. No one can stop me. Wonder what it looks like these days. They should make a really cool UI for it.
Should turn to a game. Every level is just like defragmenting another region, another sector of your hard drive.
When I was a kid, I had an app for maybe Windows XP. Every time I opened up anything, it would do the Mega Man 2 intro and say the app's name. And it would give all the lights. The whole screen would turn black and it would come on with it like it was a boss, and it would be like Internet Explorer's opening, and it would have the little icon and it would jiggle around and play the music. So, you know, 10 seconds for every opening.
Horrible.
How long do you think I lasted?
For you, maybe years.
Yeah, that would be a really cool thing to put on somebody's computer, and they just don't know what it's doing. You know what? You remember?
Yeah, they ask you about it. It's like someone you do that to someone's computer, and you're like, yeah, Windows just got an update. That's just the way it is now.
Yeah, that's. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if that's Windows 11 has something like that. Screensavers, before they became worthless, I had an incredibly cool one that maybe I should still use. It would play randomly. It would grab a speed run, and it would just play it. It would just play that speed run footage on the. It would just be a replay file. It would just play it through NES, you know, SNES 9X or whatever, and that would be the. And you could cycle them in the screensaver. And if you were a nut, if you wanted to live in like the Matrix, you could put in like 64 of them at once on your screen, just little boxes. And you could pull the audio from whichever one you wanted. Like, you could set it up however you wanted. You could have 4 screens of different speedruns. And I would sit there and watch those sometimes instead of turning my damn computer on, because, you know, that's what I was going to watch anyway. I would learn how to play Mega Man.
Alright, Rob is fighting a Dracula now.
I'm betting that screensaver software still exists, but I have no idea where to find it. Is it Duckula? I thought it said Dracula. I was gonna say it should be Duckula, a famous.
I mean, that might be his name, but
original
he is
character.
a type of Dracula, yeah.
Well, it said Dracula's Castle. I could have sworn. Anyway, he's very shiny. Doesn't this make you want to play all the Castlevania DS games today and, you know, just stream them all right now?
Today?
Yeah, with me guesting.
Maybe. I could play all of them at once.
Yeah. Donald.
So when are you gonna play? When are you gonna play all of the DS Castlevania games at one time with one controller simultaneously, controlling all of them?
I've done SERP %.
I don't know what that means.
Means I have a bucket of syrup and I dunk my controller in it and I play Castlevania or Mario 3.
No, I don't like that.
It's very sticky.
That's gross.
It's a sticky situation.
Yeah, it's very gross.
I'm a sticky syrup boy. I have that clip somewhere. I think most people use honey. Honey %. But I couldn't bring myself to waste honey. It's good stuff. I used the crappy syrup from the store that's not really syrup.
The pancake syrup?
Yeah.
Legally distinct from maple syrup?
Yeah. Garbage syrup.
Someone on Twitter today, one of my friends asked whether or not people refrigerate their maple syrup.
I do.
Yeah, I just about lost my mind. That's like someone asking whether or not you refrigerate your milk. It's like, you know it grows mold, right?
It's one of those things that it's on the shelf, not refrigerated, and once you open it, then you would start inviting that stuff, so you should refrigerate it then for sure. These are basic questions. I mean, I worked at a grocery store. I guess I know the answer to this. It seems like basic knowledge, but maybe I'm overestimating. Like ketchup. You open your ketchup, you put it in the fridge, you sell it on.
There are people who buy ketchup and open it and put it on the shelf and leave it warm, like that hot sauce. Like, if you open these things, you need to put them in the refrigerator. I don't know what their gut microbiomes look like, but it is not good. Rob's on the pirate ship.
Do you leave?
Rob's been making great progress on this game. He's way ahead of most people.
I'm gonna do a poll here, and you can answer it too if you want. So when you open up sour cream, underneath the cap there's a sealing lid. Do you remove it or you leave it on?
I mean, I remove it, but I've heard of people who like leave that lid partially pulled back, and then they put the lid back on over it. I don't understand the rationale, but it doesn't seem like it would hurt anything to me, so I've never had an opinion on it.
Well, the rationale is that it would help keep it sealed better, right?
Why?
It was just another layer of seal on top. Yeah, the foil lid. Or for yogurt or anything like that. It's not just sour cream.
I don't understand the logic that that's going to keep it better sealed. It's already pulled back. But also, it strikes me as harmless. I've never seen any like study that it's bad for you, so I don't have any reason to be critical of it.
Foil fans believe the seal helps keep the food fresher for longer. I've heard I'm damn sure that it doesn't help, but I've heard that it actually hurts it by making the temperature rise in there. Like, it actually is worse for you to leave it on. But I've always left it on. I've started to take it off ever since I heard this random fact that probably was not really a fact at all, but just somebody saying that. But I know that doesn't help. I'm sure of that.
There are some things that spoil faster unrefrigerated than others. I mean, I'm not saying that if you've ever eaten maple syrup unrefrigerated that you're gonna die from it, but like, it does mold. It's not. I think people think it's like honey, which famously you don't have to refrigerate and basically cannot grow bacteria, at least not in any meaningful quantity.
I'd made that nasty jump, but it doesn't seem like it helps too much. It's just a little faster.
Yeah.
Looks like Tarragon just did it as well. Yeah, you don't want to eat mold. That's like the only thing to really avoid. And like, it doesn't really matter if something's stale or whatever, or even if it has bugs in it, whatever. That's gross, but mold is actually dangerous for you to be eaten. So you want to be watching for that, and leaving the foil lid on is not going to help you with that problem. Yeah, if it's a good cheese, maybe then. But the mold that you're not supposed to eat, that's a big
You can see
deal.
on Rob's screen, you can see the temper meter now.
Nice. Finally. Temper. I'm finally mad. Finally had a pepper. That didn't last very long.
No, it's very short.
A whole meter for this?
Yeah, it's kind of silly actually.
It's in the
And I've beaten this game quite a few times. I casually speedran this probably like 5 years ago. And there's I can't imagine there's more than like maybe 3 peppers in the whole game.
Damn.
If there are more, they're way off the beaten path, because I've beaten this game both casually and as a speedrun, and I'm pretty sure there's only like a handful of peppers.
They're cutting us out on the peppers.
It's such a cool mechanic too, because when Donald is doing that run, he can like run up walls and stuff. It feels like it would be a really good mechanic for doing a cool platforming puzzle or something, and they just way underutilized it. You could remember exactly 2. I can remember probably 2 of them. I'm yeah, being generous by saying that I think there's a 3rd one.
Yeah, peanut butter is one of those things where your foil don't mean nothing. Peanut butter lasts 100 years. If it's not opened, it'll last forever. If it's opened, you probably have months and months to eat that stuff.
Yeah, I think you're more likely that the oil in it goes rancid before it grows mold.
Yeah.
That's always been my experience with peanut butter, is that when peanut butter gets old, it's not that it's moldy, it's that it just tastes off because of the oil going rancid. I do know people who refrigerate peanut butter. I've not known that to be necessary, so I don't, but at the same time, if someone came along and said, yeah, you should be refrigerating that too, I probably would.
Makes sense. Especially pure peanut butter. It does separate. It becomes really oily. Like that Jif is not really the same as like the organic actual peanut butter. It's really, really watery. It's actually hard to mix it if you don't. Oh, Duckula takes another kill here. What's this fire-breathing tiger doing? Like, what's even happening?
Being a boss.
Yeah, well, who is this? What's its problem? I think if you're gonna have a temper, it would be about this coming out to fight you. Why do you have to do this?
I'd actually be interested if Rob has ever played this game before. Not that I think that Rob would need to have played this game to be doing this well. I think Rob is just playing really well, but with how much consistent progress Rob has been making, I would not be shocked if he was like, yeah, I played this before, definitely.
This tiger's a dreadful boss. What the heck? When do you... it might just be a case of frame rate where we're not seeing damage happen when the tiger gets hit. Otherwise, I don't know when you hit this tiger.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it's when he's stopped that he's vulnerable. I think... Oh no, maybe it's just the head then.
I think that it might be a case of frame rate is denying us some of the hit frames.
Well, he also like stops moving when he gets hit, so I think that's what's going on here, is that it's maybe just the head as a hitbox.
Not the primordial pouch.
Final Gamer James is saying the tiger has a small window to be hit basically when he's jumping. That would make sense.
We've impressed the Sphinx duck.
Alright, so Rob's heading out of this level, heading out of India.
Are the nephews flying that plane?
Yeah.
Are they qualified?
Like, do they have a pilot's license?
Yeah, this goes back to that meme about sometimes a rich kid will just walk up and say the craziest shit you ever heard, like, hey, you going skiing this weekend? The nephew's gonna walk up to you, they're 8 years old, hey, you wanna fly my biplane? Like, you're like, now I'm gonna play baseball in that dirt field, man. That's what I'm doing today, I don't know about you.
Did your father buy a flying tutor for you, or did you have to go to flying school with the others?
What's your favorite yacht?
Do you have a favorite yacht? Of all the yachts you've ever been on, which one has been your favorite?
That one that I was not on that one time. They had one for prom and I didn't go to that. I just stayed home. I don't need to be on no boat dancing around. That ain't my business. What do you think about that?
I mean, I agree. Yeah, we definitely won't be able to use just points as our measurement because you can game over and continue, and that resets your points. So I'm not exactly sure that we've thought through how we're going to record this race because I don't know how we're going to measure progress. Tarragon, I think, is doing the levels in a different order because I don't think Rob's... Has Rob been to the... Yeah, Rob has been to this level already. Never mind.
I could have gone to prom with a friend. Well, I went to my house with a friend and we played Mario Kart. It is a way better time.
These are memories you'll never get back, Smite.
These are memories I have forever. I have a good time. Nobody at prom had a good time as I did, I bet. Hosted my own party.
You get hit by one blue shell and you're having a worse time than everyone at prom.
I just load up Mario Party. A good party. I was probably playing Halo, actually. It's around when that would have been out. And I'm sure I would have been winning that, so... Out a blast. Yeah, they rented like a boat to have prom on that year or something. I don't know the details. I never went to any of that stuff. I notoriously skipped all that. Super uninteresting events to me.
Rob has reached this spot on the boat. Won't be able to make progress until he comes back here with some other item from somewhere else.
You know those stories of a dude being oblivious that a girl likes him kind of stories?
Yeah.
I have one for the prom that's kind of unfortunate. A lady who liked me, and I didn't have any problem with her. She was cool. She asked me to the prom, and I meant to say I would rather die than go to the prom. But I just said I'd rather die, and she got very upset. And called my mom.
Yeah, I can't imagine that went over well.
Yeah, I mean, I apologized, but that's an easy misunderstanding for high school me to make. Very few words leads to a lot of miscommunication. Those last two words were very important, in retrospect.
Crucially important, in fact.
Whole different vibe. Why is Pete here in like Antarctic gear in what looks like Egypt?
Because he hates Donald so much, he will go literally anywhere to screw up his plans.
What? And there's like 5 of them.
Yeah, Pete's really more of an idea, a general concept.
It looks like a lot of people are at the pyramids, actually. That's where everyone is. Except for Digi, working on the ghosts.
I think they've been doing some of the levels in different orders. This is the part where things really deviate, because I haven't seen anyone else beat India other than Rob. I think we're still looking at Rob being considerably in the lead, as far as I can tell. Vlad beat the tiger? Okay.
Man, all I cared about in high school was my IT class and skipping all the events that I could. I remember discussing with the principal that I found the pep rallies to be like offensive, dumb, just wasting my time, and I ended up playing Oregon Trail in the computer room instead of going to any of those. They were so boring. Anything I could do to get out of it. I just wanted to play hacky sack and go to IT class.
All you wanted to do is play with your Beyblades and watch Toonami.
That's right. And Dragon Ball Z every day. Never miss any of those. My high school championship story is when I was playing hacky sack and somebody else's hacky sack came into our circle and I kicked that one back while saving my own. 2 hacky sacks at the same time. You got a better hook. That's like my Al Bundy football story. Man, I'm in there. You can count on me.
Back in 95, I could throw a football over that mountain.
Hacky sack was incredible.
Well, you've always been good at competitive things. Unless it's Donkey Kong Jr.
I was playing cornhole with my dad the other day because I was out there. He was kicking my ass and he wouldn't let me hear the end of that. Whenever he can beat me at something. He is he probably threw that bag 500 times that day before I got there. He was ready to go. I ain't got no skill at all in that game.
Tarragon's in India now, as is Dude.
I think one of the reasons this game is so gentle to you is you just have so many duck points. He's such a powerful duck. He can take so many hits.
Oh yeah, having 10 hit points is pretty beefy. But I feel like they didn't have a choice but to do that, considering every level is like 3 times as long as it really needs to be.
Yeah, there's a little bit of instant death sometimes, but it doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, this game rules. I'm actually a fan of Quackshot.
I think Rob is in the lead, but Vlad is doing really well too. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Vlad wasn't online for a little bit, so I'm not... That makes it even harder. But we can just check the menu when they open it up and see what kind of stuff they have, right? That's the way to measure.
Yeah, that might be the best way to do it.
There's a marker for every stage cleared, I think. And we have 20 minutes left. A little bit less, 20 minutes left.
There's items that they're collecting from different worlds as well, which isn't a complete indicator of how much progress they've made, but might help us just have a rudimentary way of judging.
Everyone is cruising here.
Everyone's making great progress. I don't think that this game is super easy. Like, I do think this game can be challenging, but it's not like challenging in a sense of you're not going to beat it. It's just challenging in the sense of it's quite, like, the stages are quite long and can be difficult to do well.
That rude crusher trap. Oh, you gotta go all the way back here. There's Duckula once again.
Yeah, now that Rob knows the shortcut through this level, he doesn't have to go all the way through it, which is pretty nice. Yeah, now that you pointed out, I never really notice much when I play games, but now that you pointed out, this game really does seem like it's missing something with not having very much music. It's just like it stands out that it kind of sparse.
This is kind of a Genesis problem. It's rare that music is like Sonic levels of quality. Like, they have the means with the sound chip. It's a strange sound chip, but they have the means to make some jams. And they typically go with this. Which is one of the reasons why I stayed away from this library. Because that's a very important piece of the puzzle to me. Mega Man has some bops. Like every single, even the worst Mega Man game. Like even Rockman and Forte. The worst
Does Wily Wars have good music?
Wily Wars is just the first 3 games, so yeah.
Right, but like, did they actually port over all the music?
Yeah, they definitely made it look visually better, but the music is... It's Genesis, like it's still there. Some tracks are better, most tracks are worse. I'm fond of the NES chiptune, so
Rob gets the Scepter of Ra. He figured out the puzzle this time, so he didn't get crushed.
I have a bias for the NES chiptune, but like I like the Genesis remixes of some of those songs.
All right, Rob's working on the minecart. I know I saw Vlad on the minecart earlier. Did he beat it or did he die on the minecart?
They did not manage to get through it. "15 minutes remain."
Vlad fell off. That's not very nice.
Looks like Rob is through. With 4 items, I think they are currently in the lead.
It looks like it.
Moving on to the last 2 stages. What happens when you get them all?
I know there's a final stage with like a boss fight and everything, but I don't, from like a story perspective, I don't remember exactly what the mechanic is for finding all the items.
No one's been to this blue land yet. Wonder what it's called. Where are we?
The one on Rob's screen? That's Antarctica.
There's nowhere like this on Earth. Is that some kind of planet?
Yeah, it's a different planet entirely.
Cool.
Donald takes the Viking key.
Ready for some penguin bird facts?
Yeah, please. Oh, were you calling my bluff? You did not expect me to say yes to that?
Did you know they can't fly?
I am familiar with that obscure factoid. That one somehow I am aware of, despite my lack of knowledge of birds. I knew even that one.
Really, they fly underwater, when you think about it. Yeah.
It's a shame that we lack a word for flying underwater. It would really make it so much easier for us if there were a special word just for that.
You know why they're black and white? Typically, anyway.
Were they invented before color TV came out?
That camouflage technique is called counter shading, and it's because if you're looking down on them from above, it's very dark in the ocean, and if you're looking at them up, then they're looking up through the white of the, the sun. That's the idea anyway.
I get it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's penguin shading.
I've been corrected. Apparently, me being a smartass was wrong. I'm in the wrong here. Because Tindali says, actually, it's true. Penguin movement underwater is more like flight than swimming.
Yeah.
So look who has egg on their face now. Not penguin egg. I wouldn't want to take one of their eggs, but
they have a gland that spits out oil near their butt, and they cover themselves in it. Helps them keep warm. They do it all day.
Nice.
Like, that's a obscure fact about penguins, but I mean it's something that they literally do with most of their life. They just spend all day covering themselves in that oil. They need it.
Just 80% of their day just spent on butt oil.
Yeah, like a cat cleaning themselves. That's what a penguin does all day long. Just oil time. Oil, eat, stand around in the ice. The inside of a penguin's mouth is pretty funny, yeah. It's like a bunch of thousand.
I have seen that, yeah.
Yep.
Rob's having a hard time with this boss. The window of attack, like the space you can actually hit, seems so unbelievably small. So, like, understandably having a hard time, but.
Well, like hit movie Pebble and Penguin suggest, starring Martin Short and Tim Curry, they do give pebbles over to their mates to try and impress them some fancy rock. I think that I don't know what they do with it. Maybe they eat it to help them digest. That's something that birds do sometimes and dinosaurs did. But maybe they just keep that damn rock. I don't know. Antarctica seems to be going well.
Donald got a green plunger to help him in Antarctica. It looks like both Vlad and Rob have the same items, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, one of them's one plain screen ahead. This is interesting. You stick that bird and ride it? Is this... That looks dangerous. It looks impossible. That's what you do here?
Yep, just ride it across the gap, I guess.
Pebble and the Penguin is definitely one of the worst movies I've ever seen, by the way. I like Tim Curry a lot, but man, his penguin that has a cape and is evil is a pretty cool character and all, but man, what a stupid movie.
A bad Tim Curry movie?
It ain't Fern Gully.
There we go. Rob,
if you think that one's
Rob
good.
figured it out.
You can steer him. I love it when the Aurora Borealis is in games and it looks like that. Just, crappy. just lousy. Weird. Like a tapeworm in the sky. Yeah, I mean, Tim Curry definitely over-delivered on the Gaston-ass penguin boss that was in that movie, but there was no saving it. It was really weird singing penguin movie. It was just no good. It's no way.
Now I feel like I need to go watch the movie. You know how I am with video games? About how I just like everything?
Yeah.
Totally uncritically? I think I'm mostly the same way about movies.
This orca is duck-sized.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized orcas or one orca-sized duck?
I think that they are smart and they'll work together and they'll probably murder me if they're in a group. I think I'd have a better chance against that big
Against
duck.
One orca-sized duck?
Yeah. Ducks aren't too smart. I could just feed him bread until he's gone. Yeah. Just don't give him no peppers.
Savage.
If you're out of water, you might be finding against the orcas out of water, unless you're on like a glacier or something, because they're smart enough to team up and knock you off. There's some kind of mythological orca that can walk also. I think it's called like Akmut or something like that.
Never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
It's I can't remember what it's from.
Ooh, that chunky lag, that chunky Genesis lag. You know, the Super Nintendo never had any lag.
Inuit mythology, Aklet. Spirit that walks around in the form of a wolf and orca. A vicious, dangerous beast. Yeah. absolutely would take me out. This is a much better song. I like the Ice Jam.
Yeah, they tried with this one.
It's a little goofy, considering.
Nope, nope, he's a different character. This is Donald.
It's a little Donald. And what kind of parent names their son Goofy? Got the Viking Diary.
The Viking Diary. Little Goofy, you mean Max? What's your opinion on Goof Troop?
It's good.
You a big Goof Troop fan?
Yeah. Some of those scenes hit pretty hard. I mean, the hardest scene in there is probably when Pete and Goofy are talking about their sons, and Pete's like, "My son respects me," and you can tell he's a huge asshole right there. you don't need to hear anymore.
How about the Goof Troop video game, though?
That's solid. That's a really good co-op experience.
I'm a fan of it. Good puzzle game.
Oh, this
Better
guy.
give me the treasure map and diary. Otherwise, I'll murder your innocent nephews.
I've never seen the sequel, Goofy Movie 2. Aptly named, because it's the second one. 5 minutes left on this journey.
Well, at this point in time, right this moment, Rob is in the lead. That's a no-brainer. Not really sure how to judge the rest of it, though.
If you had said 65 minutes instead of 60, maybe we would have seen the end of this. This is your fault, Author Blues.
This is my fault. I'm to blame.
Yeah, if they named it Goofy Movie 3, that would have been real weird, you're right. Especially if it was the first one. What would Jaws have hit us hard if it were just Jaws 3 as soon as it came out? More carts in the final level. Looks pretty nasty. Our Donald counter's dropping fast.
Yeah, we're losing Donalds by the minute.
Why can't he fly?
You think it's the shirt is like preventing him from... Like it's restricting his movement? You think that might be it?
Maybe he just never bothered. Very domesticated.
Oh, you think he's too lazy to fly?
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Kind of get that.
Honestly, in this universe, it seems like there's a lot of ducks who don't fly. That's generally not a thing they do.
I kind of get it, though. I feel like if I had the ability to fly, I probably wouldn't do it too often. It just seems like a lot of work.
Spring is a little janky looking, but it seems okay. Seems like it's working.
These platforms with Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like it's liable to not work, but it hasn't done that yet. Oh no! Panic slide.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a panic moment. So Vlad is close behind. Vlad has been told the location of the Viking Diary, so I think he'll be going to go get it and then heading into the stage right after.
1 minute left. Seem to be making progress steady here. That crusher is getting everybody. I'm not sure how it works, but it seems like you can't get away. Oh no!
Yeah, it's a puzzle. One of the items in your inventory tells you like what switches to hit in what order, and you have to have that item and look at it.
I think that's gonna do it for the race here. 30 seconds left. We lost in the hideout. We're back at the start of it.
So how should we judge this one?
Have
people just record the number of items they have in their inventory?
Yeah, probably. That makes sense. Does Rob get any extra points for that? Because they, I guess they are an item ahead, so they will be in front. Because they do have.
Yeah, I think Rob should have in his inventory 6, whereas the next closest would be 5.
That's Quackshot. We saw almost all the game, and there's I like games that are not too long like this. Like Mega Man X is still one of my favorites. Hour long. For somebody experienced with it, fun to play 100 times. That's the game. That's the game for me. Doesn't have to be a roguelike to do that. Now, was it worth $60 back in 1993? Well, probably, actually. It probably was. What else you gonna play in Genesis? Can't play Sonic all day. Gotta play Shaq Fu. What are you?
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of good Genesis games. Crusader Ascenti.
I need to play those some more. There's that egg game where you're an egg and you quest around.
No, do not talk to me about Dizzy. Absolutely not.
You don't like egg time? No.
I hate the Dizzy games. I wish I liked them. They seem like they should be, but they remind me too much of the Adventures of Pac-Man 2. You know that one?
Yeah.
The one where you just point at the screen and hope Pac-Man agrees with you?
That's an unfortunate game for them to remind you of.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining me off the blues. That is Quackshot. And let's see what our leaderboard suggests here. People are saying Rob has a 6, Dude has a 5. I think Vlad also has a 5. Well, it's all good. Those 3 were in the lead for sure. And Rob was in the final stage.
Yeah, they all did really well. This isn't a super long game, but I wouldn't have believed that even in 90 minutes that we would have gotten any clears. And we had at least 3 people who were easily on track to be able to finish in 90 minutes. So
I'm gonna host somebody playing some Mega Man. I'll have a see you Monday for Mega Man Shuffler, and Tuesday I'll be on, even though it's my day off. It's Hobbit time, right? We hobbiting?
Yep. Yeah, we're doing Lord of the Rings Volume 1 with all the friends. We're doing it with Evie, Maddie, and Wobbly.
Nice. It's prom night all over again. See you later.
Later.
See you later, everybody. Have a good one.